My Zadie, which is the Yiddish word for grandfather, is Rabbi Sidney Zimmelman. In January of 1933, in a small town in Poland, my grandfather was born. The town is called Lamazi. My Zadie and his family lived a fairly simple life in terms of the food they ate and the activities they did as kids. The family lived as Orthodox Jews and kept the traditions of keeping kosher, which is the Jewish dietary laws, regularly going to temple, and of course doing the Jewish high holidays. They do not know the exact date of when my Zadie was born because his birth certificate was lost on their journey. More than an ocean liner traveling across the seas to Canada was at stake for this journey. My Zadie, his parents, and 2 brothers at the time were traveling for their lives. He was only 5 years old at the time. They had heard that the Nazis were coming, and they knew they had to escape Poland before the deadly horrors of the Holocaust approached their hometown. Luckily, family they had in the United States helped them to immigrate there, but they first lived in Canada. They arrived in Halifax, Canada on June 7, 1938, after a weeks-long journey. In Canada, their life was still simple, but certain aspects like finding a job was quite difficult for Rabbi Sidney Zimmelman and his family. His father spoke Yiddish and did not know English, so life was hard. He eventually learned to be a shochet, which is the slaughterer for kosher meat for Jews. Meanwhile, his mother remained as a housewife as she was in Poland. On May 12, 1946, they took a train to Portland, Maine, in the United States. My Zadie and his family were able to immigrate to the United States because his mother's siblings lived in Florida and the Bahamas, so they gave them the money and got them the visas to immigrate to Canada and then to the United States. The education seemed to at least improve in the United States, except even after all his family experienced, he did encounter anti-Semitism one day after school. He walked out of the school, and just like that, he was beaten by ignorant boys of his new home. Life was hard, but he was grateful to have been able to escape Poland. After he finished the 7th grade in Portland, Maine, and spent the summer there, he went to New York to study at the yeshiva. He completed the 8th grade and through high school there. Also, he stayed in the dorms at the school. Then he went to study at the Jewish Theological Seminary for college. He became a rabbi and even served as a chaplain in the Air Force in Japan, where he gave the eulogy in memory of John F. Kennedy. He felt that he needed to give back to the country that offered him and his family a home. The reason why he decided to become a rabbi is also derived from his gratefulness. He wanted to give back to the Jewish community, especially the people from his hometown that were not able to escape, because he is so fortunate to have been able to escape Poland. My family and I would not be here today if my Zadie and his family did not flee Poland. Knowing how lucky my family and I are makes me truly appreciate being here and living in America. Although I am here today, there are times where I do not feel safe because I am Jewish. There are still people in this world and the United States that are anti-Semitic or prejudiced against Jews. Whether I am praying at my temple or attending a large Jewish event, I sometimes feel scared. My Zadie is considered to be a child survivor of the Holocaust, and it only deepens my connection with the Holocaust and my family. I am proud to say that I am Jewish, and it is something I need to be proud of. I need to stand up for the Jewish people, especially for those who could not escape the horrors of the Holocaust. We must never forget the Holocaust. because it can happen again. My Zadie is 86 years old, and he continues to live gratefully. He currently works as a rabbi on cruises and even teaches a Jewish education course at a prison in Texas where he lives. He truly lives life to the fullest.